Good morning. So our date with destiny is done. This will be my last broadcast on 2.5 hours of sleep. You'll get a full night's sleep tonight. That'll be amazing. So what would an outstanding life for you look like? What is it that you would want? Who would you want to hang around with? Who would you want to be with? Who would you want to associate with? If you were going to sit down and say, an outstanding life for me would be X, Y, and Z. Have you ever stopped and thought about that? Have you ever stopped and written down, this is exactly what it would be if I had a life that I considered to be outstanding? And maybe your life is outstanding. If it is, that's fantastic. Most of us have never sat down and decided, if I had everything that I wanted, this is what that would be. The difference between what we have and what we don't is a decision. We have the things that are musts for us. When something becomes an absolute, when it becomes a must, then we find a way. It's when it's not a must and it's just a should that we don't find a way. One of the Tony phrases is, I should do this, I should do that. People should all over themselves. So if you ever sat down and thought, if I really could, if I had the magic wand and I could do anything I wanted, what would I do? What would I want to do? Because if you do that and then make a decision that you want to go somewhere, the only difference then is the gap. And filling in the gap is almost always about effort. It's about intensity. It's about intent. It's about desire. It's almost never about circumstances and by circumstances, I mean age, time, money, location. It's always not about that. So why not? Why not design the life that you're looking for? When we do this seminar, Date with Destiny, when Tony Robbins does this seminar, this one was virtual. It's 6 days. It's his most intense seminar, and it covers a great deal of topics. But the real thing that it does is it aligns your values and your beliefs. Our values are the states, the feelings that we want to have on a regular basis. So joy, passion, love, variety, excitement. And beliefs are the targets in order to hit that. So if one of your towards values is success, your belief is what has to happen in order for you to feel successful. What happens for a lot of us is those things have conflicts. So like we want success, but then we've also got an away value that says one of the things we'll do anything to avoid is rejection. And so we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And so what this seminar does is it aligns those things. And, the easiest way to put this, it's a complicated process, but it's really all about intensity and motivation and desire and energy. The way that you really do any of this stuff is really with energy. And if you think about it, whenever you've made a change, there's been a massive threshold. There's been this push where there's leverage and all of a sudden, and then the change happens. And when the change does happen, it's actually effortless. So what is it? What is it that you would want to have in your life that's not there? Have you ever sat down and really thought about that? Because a lot of times we'll say, well, I want financial freedom. Okay. What would that mean to you? I want financial freedom. Okay. And then a lot of times I'll ask a question, well, what does that mean? Well, that my bills would be paid. Okay. In order to make that effective, you've got to sit down and say, this is exactly the amount of money that I would want to make every year. And then that's going to tell you the answer to that question. So if at the end of the day, we can do most of these things, and the issue is really just effort, then why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't we all give it a try? So my invitation to you today, think about it. What would be your ultimate life if you really wanted to do all of the things that you wanted to do? And don't go into how. I don't want to hear about I'm too old or I don't have enough money or any of these things. Throw all that aside. Imagine that you're walking on the beach and you find the magic bottle and you can have the wishes. What would you do? And I invite you to write them down and take a look and then put a timeline. Make a decision that you're going to do these things. Don't worry about how, worry about why. Go on a pattern or go on a trip where you just write these things down and then ask yourself, what am I going to get if I do all of this stuff? Why do I want to do all this stuff? And if you get a big enough why, you'll get a big enough motivation. If you get a big enough motivation, you'll be able to figure these out. What these seminars teach me, it's really about standards. And, again, they show me that, like I said, everybody wants the same thing at the end of the day. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go experience life and do all of those things. And so if you want to do that, write them down and go do that. So it seems like it wouldn't be a bad idea to hold a seminar after the first of the year. If anybody would think that they would be interested in that, let me know. Drop a message in the box. Because one of the things that I've seen is how effectively Zoom can actually work and how you can really do these things and do them virtually. There's disadvantages, but in some ways there's advantages. And that's the world as it exists right now. We're going to be able to go back to being in person, but until that happens, this really does work. So if you get a chance, drop a note in the comment box and let me know whether or not that'd be something that anybody would want to do. But at the end of the day, I invite you to go on a journey and dream and think about what, if you could do anything you wanted, something that would really inspire you, something that would get you excited. Write it down and then write down a timeline and then head towards it. If it gets you up in the morning and keeps you up late at night and gets you excited, then that's what life is all about. And when you're more excited, as you're moving towards these things, you're going to approach them with a complete different energy. And then you're going to approach life with a complete different energy. At the end of the day, we don't know if this is our only ride on this merry-go-round or not, but either way, it's the only one that we can think of, and why not make it the best ride that you can make it for you, whatever that is, whatever those dreams are. It could be something as simple as, I want to have a beautiful garden, or I want to write a book, or it could be, traveling things. I want to stand on the Great Wall of China, but whatever it is, why not go do it? It's my invitation today. So I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you very, very much for watching. I'm probably going to go catch a couple more snoozes since it was only 2.5 hours. We're all in this together, everybody. Thanks for watching. Let's take care of each other.